They vanished without a trace. They hid the evidence. But every secret has a file. The truth is hidden. We find it.
This chart maps U.S. missing person reports. Every year, agencies log hundreds of thousands of initial calls. Within days, 99% resolve quickly. People are found safe, return voluntarily, or remains are discovered. That leaves this tiny sliver, permanent anomalies defying forensic explanation. Even among statistical outliers, there is usually a tangible thread to pull on, a vehicle or a final text. But here, there is nothing. This event breaks the established models of how humans vanish. On a normal Tuesday afternoon, a seemingly average adult walked out of their workplace, got into their car, and drove toward the edge of town. That was their last verified physical location. Investigators call what happened next a forensic vacuum. That means police found absolutely zero physical, biological, or digital trace of the person from that precise moment forward. Typically, humans leave a massive wake behind them. Cellular phones ping local towers, credit cards register at gas stations, or cameras catch a license plate. In this case, the trail simply stops. Yielding a complete zero across every metric forces investigators to abandon standard procedures. Without any data points to follow, the disappearance becomes a strictly intellectual puzzle. The geography of the subject's last known location is highly specific. It is a dense, heavily wooded state park, bordered by steep ravines and rocky outcroppings. The immediate working theory was the most logical. The subject parked, wandered into the woods, became disoriented, and succumbed to the natural elements. This topographical map shows the exact search grid mobilized within hours. Over 200 trained search and rescue personnel walked shoulder to shoulder, maintaining strict parameters to scan every square foot of the terrain. They brought in specialized tracking dogs, trained to lock on to the microscopic dead skin cells humans shed constantly. The map highlights their paths. Multiple independent dog teams hit the ground, tracked the scent for 50 yards, and then abruptly stopped at the exact same geographical coordinate. A human body does not vanish into thin air. Given the extreme density of the grid search and the clear sightlines of the terrain, failing to find remains or clothing means the subject is physically not in that forest. If the natural environment did not claim them, another human being had to be involved. Investigators turned to the next assumption: a targeted abduction or random foul play by an unknown third party. Look at this timeline. We have the exact minute of the last verified sighting and the moment the spouse called the police to report the absence. That leaves a remarkably tight window. An abductor would have precisely 14 minutes to enter the park, intercept the subject, and drive away undetected. A physical struggle inside that narrow window requires secondary evidence. The timeline shows where investigators expected to find discarded items, blood markers, or rogue tire tracks in the mud. Every single one of those data points remains blank. Extensive background checks returned a thoroughly ordinary life. There were no hidden debts, no angry ex-partners, and no massive life insurance policies waiting to be cashed out. To believe this was a crime, one must accept the existence of an actor who can perform a complex abduction and vanish without disturbing a single leaf or leaving a single tire mark in the span of 14 minutes. That leaves the theory of voluntary flight. The subject deliberately orchestrated a disappearance to start over. Successfully faking a death requires immense preparation. You need a stockpile of untraceable cash, forged travel documents, and a robust plan to launder your new identity. This flowchart tracks the subject's financial and communication data in the months prior. You see regular grocery purchases, utility payments, and daily text messages. Then, a sudden, hard stop. There are no large cash withdrawals, no encrypted emails, and zero preliminary planning indicators. Modern adults are bound by a digital tether. Severing your social security number, banking history, and digital footprint without triggering a single administrative alarm is an incredibly complex engineering problem. In the years since the disappearance, not one ping has registered on the subject's driver's license, passport, or medical records. Orchestrating a disappearance requires a paper trail to build the escape route. The complete absence of that groundwork destroys the voluntary flight theory, leaving investigators at a permanent dead end. Today, the investigation is entirely frozen. There are no active leads to run down and no remaining terrain to physically search. Without a resolution, The case outgrew local police files. It became a national obsession, heavily debated on internet forums and true crime networks. We fixate on stories like this because the human brain rejects absolute ambiguity. Our evolutionary hardwiring demands answers to protect us from unseen threats. We comfort ourselves with the belief that we live in an inescapable grid of GPS satellites, surveillance cameras, and constant cellular tracking. A person disappeared from the center of a high-resolution world. It proves that the vast digital architecture we rely on to define our reality is still capable of losing a human being entirely.